Hello everyone. Today is March 15th. This is Velero community meeting. First, for some overall status update, we have released another patch for V1.10, V1.10. That is V1.10.2, and we have included some fixes and for CVEs and for other. You can get the full list in this link from this link. And for V1.11, we have made more progress, so we are getting closer to the to meet the target of FC, and hopefully we can decide the FC date today in the meeting or later. For some individual updates, myself from my side, the data moment design has been ready for review, and this design has included the details for both the built-in data moment and also the plugin data moment, and it also integrates the design to included the design to integrate to the latest backup item action and the result item action V2. So let's start to review it. And my next work is to integrate the data moment POC that we have made in the previous to integrate it with the latest BIA and IAV2, and that will help us to further verify the functionality of the POC and also verify the functionality of the plugin V2. I will update if there are more progress on that. That's from my side. And Jiming. Hello, Ming.
Hey, seems Ming is not here currently.
Okay. Let's okay. So Daniel, you can go ahead, please.
Yeah, I believe Min has been working on the implementation for the resource policy to skip some volume from backup. I think Wenkai is reviewing the PR. And from my side, I've resolved an issue regarding the concurrent snapshot API call issue in AWS. And working on some PR reviews, including some code change and designs. And in the remaining of the week or before FC, I'll be working on a few doc issues under my name targeting 1.11. And I will also remove the code related to the item snapshotter, which was introduced earlier by Dave for a progress monitoring, which ended up being incomplete. And we decided to choose the BIA V2. So I believe those code is no longer needed. And since we have more time, I'll remove them in 1.11. That's all from my part. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. And Scott.
Yeah, first of all, just Daniel, it's good to hear that you're removing those parts. That was on my list of things to deal with eventually, but hadn't gotten to it yet. So, but yeah, that's right. Everything that was intended with that, we're now doing with the BIA V2. So none of that is needed anymore. And in fact, there actually wasn't any code in the controllers that was ever merged that uses that anyway. So it's good to get rid of that now.
Okay.
So yeah, relating to the BIA V2, that follow-on PR where I implemented the suggestions that we did not get in the original PR, that was merged recently. I had that wait for additional items to be ready PR that I had last week. It's now ready for review because I got the required changes in related to Emily's PR where she added the resource timeout, which I'm using in this PR. So this has been updated now to include that new resource timeout field. So this should be ready for review. I'm working on the restore item action V2 monitoring controller changes. probably halfway through those changes today. Hopefully I will get that PR out either tomorrow or, certainly by the end of the week, but I'm hoping to get it sooner rather than later this week, because I am in the middle of that right now. And I will also update that plugin example to also include a restore item action v2 plugin for testing purposes at the same time. So that, again, that'll be a draft PR until that's merged. Then once that example PR gets merged, then we can start talking about getting the end-to-end test in place, which would use that PR.
Okay. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, we'll review this PR. Actually, we have started, and we'll leave a comment if any. And Danfeng.
Okay, from my side, first, I've been working on investigating some failures of Nightly, and one of the failure is a random failure on Azure pipeline. From the recent rounds of Nightly result, it seems it has been fixed by Yonghui's PR. And the second is I've been working on a PVC selected node end-to-end test. The PR is ready. That's all from my side.
Okay, thanks. And Wenkai.
Yeah, I will update the doc or Azure plugin to reflect new changes made during the 1.11, and I also review some PRs. The status from my side.
Okay, thanks. And Xun.
The first one is the new scope, the resource filter PR. After resolving some conflicts from the merge PR, it also needs, please take a look of this PR again and try to merge it as soon as possible to let it to have more time to do some regression and functional test. And the second one is the support not equal in the selector PR. This one I missed some problem when resolving the problem, the issue. The original issue is the backup and restore command line has a selector parameter, and it doesn't support the not equal as operator for the labels. I think that's the problem in the API machinery library. Please scroll down a little bit. Anshu already raised issue in the API machinery, but there isn't any fix yet. The problem is there is a two kind of selectors in the API machinery. The first one is label selector. It doesn't support the not equal. And the second one is selector. That support what? Support not equal. I think the problem is the two libraries isn't synced. So I try to use the selector to instead of label selector. That does resolve the problem. But the new problem is the modified backup cannot be synced with the old version backup. It will raise the problem. It cannot be unmarshaled. So I'm not sure how to resolve it, and maybe we also need to have a mechanism to update, to trace how to update the CRD's parameters type.
Yeah, I think that's a gap in Velero. We don't have a mechanism to convert the CR from one version to another. And considering Velero CRD is already V1, we probably need to bump up to V2 according to the convention. So I think I'll open an issue and we try to explore some solution in the next minor release. So from my opinion, I think probably it's okay we defer this one to future release. I didn't expect this is requiring such big change. I noticed you changed like 28 files. That's
Yeah.
way more than I expected. If there's a limitation in the API machinery, we probably, I think, since this is not any regression, this is just an old problem that have been existing for a long time. It's okay we delay it further, and I think what's more important is how we evolve these CRs. Scott, have you involved in the earlier days of Velero where we convert the CR from one version to another, like from V1 alpha 1 to V1 beta 1, V1 beta 1 to V1?
Not since I've been involved. If any of that was happening, it was before I was with the project.
Okay.
So I think it's been in the V1 for a long time now.
Okay, I'll try to find if there's anyone used to work in Velero still in VMware. If not, we'll need to think about this. This has been a problem because we have been adding new fields to the CR, which is already V1. That is not a good practice. So we need to fix that, I think. So
yeah, I mean, adding new fields that are optional as long as the old ones still work is one thing. Adding things that are required that change functionality, that's when it starts to get to the point where a CR that was created with an old version doesn't work anymore. That's when you start to have the problems.
Right. But I think normally when you reach V1, we don't expect like what we are doing, adding a lot of fields, right? Or is that normal in the Kubernetes world?
I'm actually not sure whether adding an option field is ever a problem, although I don't have a lot of experience with other projects on that. I mean, I know it's commonly done in terms of, I know when you break compatibility, that's definitely a problem. In terms of otherwise, it's not completely obvious to me whether, that's actually even an issue as long as what you're adding is optional. But, when we do things like, for example, actually finally remove that, the default volumes to Restic, that would actually be a compatibility breaking change.
Yep. Yeah, I think I'll raise this issue and let's discuss it in some future community meeting. That will require some thinking. Like if we only remove one field, does it qualify we bump up from V1 to V2 alpha 1? I'm personally not sure, and like how many different versions should Velero support. I'll do some investigation and write an issue, but certainly I need to discuss with other maintainers. I don't have experience in that area either. So.
Okay.
So for this one, I think we probably okay to defer to future version. I'll read a little bit more comment and let's discuss this afternoon in Beijing. Let's meeting.
Okay, sure.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. And Xun, any further update?
No more update.
Okay, thanks. And the next one, Shiqi.
I add warning and arrow details to backup describer. That's all from my side.
Okay, thanks. And Shubhang.
Yeah, I've been doing the PR reviews and testing BIA v2 changes. That's it.
Yeah, Shubhang, please take a look at Yonghui's PR regarding the data mover design. That will require some back and forth. So yeah.
I got through it like the first half. I'm still reviewing it. So yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Shubhang. Okay. The next part, the discussion topics, and so we want to decide the exit date, right, Daniel?
Right. Yeah, Scott, I don't think you really want to rush to submit the PR because that will require, I think that will require some back and forth, like adding comments, resolving or follow up PRs, and we may need more time to make sure the existing regression test pass in our internal pipeline. So I also communicate this to Pradeep. I think it's okay with FC at by the end of next week. So
yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, I still want to have the PR out this week, so we have the full time to review it and modify it. The good thing too is since there's no other PRs that are depending on this one, we should be able to just resolve it and make the changes within the one PR and not have to do follow on. But it's still going to take some time, like you said, to review and make changes and all that. So hopefully I'll have that PR mid to late week this week, and then we'll have the time. But yeah, you're right. It's going to take until certainly beyond the Friday before it's totally ready and merged. So I think the 24th makes sense as a final date for feature complete. I don't really see any need to go beyond that with what I've got left, at least, unless there's other things that aren't done yet.
Okay, thanks. I'll update the wiki with the new dates. Thank you.
Great. Okay.
Okay, thanks. So any other topic we want to cover? If not, I think we can finish off here for this meeting. And thanks everyone, and have a good day and a good evening. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.